Traditional pricing is flawed. This week, I'm sharing some secrets that we use with our sellers to get their home priced as high as possible without committing that fatal flaw of overpricing. This week's video is going to be incredibly helpful for those who are considering selling their home. Maybe you're considering a refinance of your home to pull out some equity for some projects, or maybe you're just a homeowner who would love to know what the highest possible value of your home would be. It's kind of cool to watch that, and maybe that's you. So, and before we dig in, I want to make sure I'm always giving you the most up-to-date information and answering the questions that you're really curious about. So comment below in the video if you've got certain things you'd like to know about real estate, whether that's buying a home, selling a home, building, what's happening with the interest rates, what do we see coming, anything like that. You comment below and what you'd like to see, and we're going to create content that's really delivering to you the questions you want to see answered most. Now, if you remember last week's video, we talked about the number one mistake that sellers are making right now, and we talked about how that's overpricing in the form of emotional pricing and aspirational pricing. So today, if we're going to share the secrets on how to price your home accurately, you need to make sure that you don't fall into one of those two traps. So if you didn't catch last week's video, I'm going to put a link down in below where you can watch that video. So hit pause. If you didn't watch it, go back and check that out. That way we don't make any mistakes moving forward, and we can make sure you get your home priced accurately. So hit pause on that, go back and check it out if you didn't see it, and then let's pick up right back here, okay? Outside of overpricing your home, the biggest mistake that happens every single time with listing a home is the flaw of traditional pricing. Now, you've heard it said, and many people do it this way, where they're going to look back at the last 6 to 12 months of sales in the area that are homes were comparable to yours. And while it's a great strategy to justify the price of your home to an appraiser, in fact, we have a appraisal assistance protocol that we use to make sure our sellers get that full value that a buyer offers for their home. But it's not a great strategy when pricing your home, because buyers aren't looking at the last 6 to 12 months of sales to determine if they want to come see your house in the first place. They're looking around at seeing what's on the market currently. And so while it's good to look back, and you have to have that justification for the appraiser when they come, so that when they're sending their report back to the bank or the lender that you used, you need to be able to justify the price that you're at. That's great. But the conditions that existed 6 to 12 months ago are likely different than what's going on right now. Interest rates may have been different. The economic climate may have been different. Buyers' fears about elections and all those other things that are happening in the world, those things affect what people were willing to pay back then, and with what's happening right now, what they're willing to pay and buy under the current conditions. So it's good to look back. You have to know and be able to justify it to an appraiser, but it's a fatal flaw to think that because people paid something 6 to 12 months ago, that they're still going to pay that same thing now for your home under the current conditions. So let's dig into forward pricing. This is what we use to make sure that a home gets priced as high as possible without overpricing it. Because here's the thing, buyers are utilizing this and they don't even know it. They're looking at homes that are currently on the market in the price range of your home, the style of your home, the location of your home, and internally they're making decisions on whether your home feels overpriced or not. They're not looking back to what sold 6 to 12 months ago. They're looking at what's currently on the market and whether they feel your home's a good deal and they want to get out to see it, or whether it feels overpriced. And so you've got to utilize forward pricing when pricing your home. So looking at what's currently on the market, what's pending, what's active. If it's active, how long has it been on the market at that price range? Because just because it's on the market at a price range doesn't mean that that's where you want to price it at. If it's been on there for a long time, there's a good indication that home is probably overpriced, or maybe has some fatal errors to the property that are keeping buyers from going under contract with it. So you've got to use this strategy when you price your home, because this is what buyers are doing. They're looking at what's out there and they're making judgments based on what they can see in other homes as to whether or not they want to come and see your home. So if you're gonna price your home as high as possible and as accurate as possible, we've got to make sure we're looking at what's currently on the market. We started utilizing this strategy back when home prices were escalating like crazy. When rates were down at 3% or less, the escalation of prices was happening so rapidly, you could look even a month or 2 months ago and it wasn't accurate for what buyers were willing to pay for homes at that time because things were escalating so quickly. So looking at what's currently on the market is giving you a way better picture of what buyers are seeing, what's going under contract. So again, by seeing what's pending and how long it took to go pending, you can get a pretty good feel, and your agent should be having some conversations when listing your home about homes that are under contract in the area. And oftentimes there's goodwill there, and you can have conversations with those listing agents that are under contract to know what they got for the home. So forward pricing is the best way to make sure that you're going to high price your home as much as possible, but not overprice it. All right, so if you've avoided the pitfalls of traditional pricing, if you've made sure to use forward pricing to utilize your home, there's still gonna be an art and a science to getting your home priced correctly. So the science side of it is we've got to account for the differences in the number of bedrooms, the number of bathrooms, the differences in the finished square feet of the home, the lot size, the level of updating. I mean, there's a ton of things that are going to go into crunching the numbers and getting to a place where, yeah, this is probably about where we need to be. So you've still got to crunch the numbers on those things and make adjustments for those differences. There is still a science to pricing your home. And then once you've crunched all the numbers, there's even still an art to doing that as well. So the numbers tell part of the story, but sometimes when you get that numbers crunch and you get to that number, I can just feel it in my gut sometimes where it's like, yeah, but I think this home still needs to be listed a little bit higher. Or maybe it needs to be listed a little bit lower because it just doesn't feel like that's the right price for the home. Now, sellers beware. This is where that emotional pricing and that aspirational pricing wants to sneak back in. So don't let it happen. Use the art side of the approach. You've got to be unbiased in this. We can't let our emotions or our aspirations sneak back in here. But there still is an art side of it. When you've crunched all the numbers, you're seeing what's on the market, whether you need to go up a little bit from what the numbers are saying or you need to go down a little bit from what the numbers are saying. So making sure you're using the art and the science of pricing a home while you've forward priced it as well. Well, I hope this video has been really helpful for you and equipped you to know how to price your home as high as possible without committing that fatal flaw of overpricing it. If you've been considering selling a home, or if you know someone who is, give me a text or give me a call. We've got a listing protocol that we utilize that uses all of the points in here to accurately price your home while also keeping you on track to get your home sold without all of the common frustrations that can accompany selling a home, getting it sold for as high as possible, and getting it sold for the shortest amount of time possible as well, so that you can get your family into your next home or get it sold so you can get the money out of it. We're here to serve you. We'd love the opportunity to do that. My name is Jim Hare with Keller Williams, Greater Omaha, Hare Homes Realty Group. Thank you so much for tuning in. Again, if there's certain questions you want to see answered, comment below. I'd love to hear what content you'd like to see me create so I can put out the most helpful information for you. Thank you so much for tuning in. God bless you and have an amazing day.